Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Who's Theory. Today, we're going to be discussing a new Who's theory about AOT. Now, this is a map of the AOT uni, and it pretty much lists every single major town in the AOC series. Sorry, AOT series. My bad, mispronounced that there. Now we're going to start with the main city of Wilmore. This is where Mikasa grew up, and also where Eren grew up. They grew up as neighbors next to each other. And so pretty much they went to school together at Raptor Claws University. And, they enjoyed each other's company all throughout high school. And, they lived in Wilmore for most of their lives. And then they eventually moved to Gatchaville, where they pursued schooling in Gadget Claws University. And they played basketball on the same team, even though they were different genders. And there was a lot of crime that went on during this time, and the city was in need of some heroes. So Mikasa and Eren decided to team up, and they eventually became a squad of interesting, stuff. And they had a great time together, and pretty much it in Gatchaville. They needed to expand, so they moved to Seed City, where they met Zeke. Now Zeke is a character that he was very dynamic throughout the series. He changed a lot. At first, they hated each other. It was always it was Mikasa and Eren, but Zeke had a deep love for Mikasa. Therefore, Eren and Zeke would have a fist fight. They usually got brutal. They even had, but unfortunately, the only hospital was in Wilmore. So whenever there was a serious injury, they had to hike all the way back to Wilmore to, get him in the hospital and treat him. But eventually, Zeke just gave in to Eren because Eren was just superior in every way, even though he treated Mikasa like a dog. Once they were done in Seed City, they decided to move all the way down to Holmeston. This is completely south of where they of Seed City, and this is where they met Peak. Now, Zeke and Peak hit it off, and including at one point Zeke even asked Peak to be his girlfriend. I know, crazy, and they were going crazy. Now, this group of four was fighting crime in Holmeston, but there was one time that they were in Deedville, and they met a hungry Levi. Levi was he was starving. He needed some food, and this set of people, Mikasa, Eren, Zeke, and Peak, they were just rolling by when they saw Levi starving to death on the street. And they didn't know what to do, so they decided to give him some food. But unfortunately, the food had food poisoning, and unfortunately, young Levi ended up dying of starvation and of disease. So that was just an incident in Deedville that happened. From Deedville, on the same mission of crime fighting, where they defeated a Titan, there was another Titan sighting in Tiz City. So they pulled up to Tiz City, and the Titan was nowhere to be found. They couldn't find it. and that was very unfortunate. So they were very confused because Titans are pretty big. Like, how could it have just disappeared? And what they didn't know is that the Titan had just met up with Dream, and Dream taught him a couple of tricks, such as how to use an invisibility potion. And so he used the invisibility potion, and no one could see him, but the town was still getting destroyed, and everyone was wondering how. And so the four, Zeke, Peak, and Mikasa and Eren, they all together discovered that a giant empty bottle, and they put the two and two together, and they're like, oh man, he's invisible. So they poured some milk on him from a cow that from Sheldon's farm. So they went to Sheldon's farm and got a big bucket of milk and poured it all over the town. And they eventually ended up finding the Titan. Once they poured milk on him, made him invisible. So they beat that Titan, and then they were on their way to Kashistan. And in Kashistan, they found their pet named Cassius. I know, what a coincidence. So they were going crazy, like the lazy, of course, and they were in Kashistan, and then all of a sudden, Mikasa had a heart attack, and she was also got a grenade thrown at her, and it happened to blow off her arm. And that was very unfortunate for the group because Mikasa only had one arm. Now she became way less attractive, and then Eren started beating her. Started to be a very physical relationship, and but Eren still stuck with her, or Mikasa still stuck with Eren because she loved Eren, even though Eren treated her like an absolute terror, like straight dog. But Zeke and Peak were still together, and that was very fortunate for them because they ended up getting married at the end of the show. Which actually, next they went to Repta Set, where they lived for a little bit, and they actually, this is where Zeke and Peak got married. Then they had 2 kids together. And, but the 2 kids weren't born until they went to Cobton. Cobton was a very small village, but it was in need of a lot of help because it was such a small town that there was actually no police. And so they needed the group of Mikasa, Eren, Peak, and Zeke to come help them. So, that's what they did in Cobton, and that's where Zeke and Peak had their first kid. Their other one was born in Waynesboro. I know it's very far across the AOC universe, and but they traveled to Waynesboro for a getaway vacation. It was actually part of their honeymoon, and that was where their second kid was born. I know they had a really late honeymoon to their wedding. It was a couple of years after. They were about, I think, 15 years old each. Actually, I think Zeke was 15 and Mikasa was, or not Mikasa, sorry. Zeke was 15 and Peak was 16. So a little young, but that's where they had their second kid. And they're about a year and a half apart. And I don't know, pretty young, but that's what happens in the AOT universe. And then the very end of the show in chapter 139, but it's not actually the end of the show because there's going to be another, there's going to be another chapter 140 because, as you know, chapter 140 is coming based on my other theories. But anyways, in the last episode, they are in Wilmore, where Zeke and Peak are going crazy, and then Mikasa comes up and she almost dies, and Zeke is standing over and kisses her on the cheek, and Peak gets really mad at Zeke for doing that because they're not related anyway. So and then Eren also gets really mad, and it's a very awkward situation, and I was feeling very bad for them. So anyways, this pretty much Who's Theory confirms that the like how close the AOT cities are in the show, in that chapter 140 is going to come. And yeah, thank you for watching. I very much enjoy making this video. As you can tell from the tone of my voice, I sound very excited. And goodbye. Although I wasn't done. I was not done whatsoever. If you didn't know, I just bought a new Burger King and I was on a plane. And, that I was sitting in the back of the plane, and someone made me mad, and said a couple words, went viral, nothing much. But I was just wanting to let you guys know that that was Susie, and trying to represent stuff. So, especially when Sheldon likes to do a lot of bad things with Hoosie, even though he doesn't deserve them. Hoosie needs help. He needs a lot of help, so just when Sir Boob gets a good old beating. A beating is what he needs, and unfortunately he's not going to get one until tomorrow because he left already. Someone get Sir Boob for me. I need him with me right now. It would be a very bad situation if Sir Boob was with me right now. It would be a terrible situation for him. He wouldn't want to be here. Anyways, goodbye.